Happy Monday, everybody. The 16th day of October, 2017. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we're back at it on a Monday, although you can't trust that day. You'll notice there's no chair to my immediate left. That's because News Director Steve Hare is still on assignment. He'll be back tomorrow. I'll be handling your news in just a couple of minutes. Also, of course, your weather forecast and my guests in the second half of the show, the Make a Difference Day organizers, Margie Kerr and Laurel Hilton, will be here. This is an interview that we taped a few days ago, so you'll notice I'm wearing different clothes and the backdrop will be a little bit different. Margie Kerr and Laurel Hilton on tape will be here on the second half of the program. We got lots of sports to get to. Today in history, birthdays, the obscure holiday, and a whole bunch more on a chilly Monday morning. It's cool out there. In fact, not only is the overnight low last night, also Saturday night was 32 degrees. We hit the freezing mark for the first time since April 11th. That's an idea of where we are as we begin to really get full bore into autumn 2017. So a good Monday to you. Let's take you around north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. And we begin, of course, with the cross camera. Let's pull back about as far back as it can go to give you a really good idea of what we're dealing with this morning. Sunrise is still a ways away. Sunrise is still 18 minutes away. 7:21 is sunrise officially, but we're also getting closer to getting rid of daylight saving time and going back to standard time. That's a couple of Saturdays away, the first Saturday in November, so then the sun will be back up at an earlier time again. There's the Wenatchee Valley. Camera number 2, and again, we find this out together. I don't know, we'll find out together as my producer Caitlin changes it to whatever it is, it's beautiful. That's Lake Wenatchee. That's either Nanapoc Ridge. I believe that's Nanapoc Ridge. So you can see that clouds and those fogs settle down there. It's going to burn off. It's going to be sunny today and actually quite mild, above normal temperatures. Big change in the weather, however, coming in the middle of the week. Good morning, Lake Wenatchee area. Again, that's Nanapoc Ridge. Camera number 3 will take us to, oh me, oh my, that's Omi Garden. And that big yellow thing way off to the left, that would be the sun as it begins to creep over the East Wenatchee Bench. Good morning to all of our friends in Omi Garden and a beautiful view of the East Wenatchee Bench. And finally, camera number 4 on a clean, crisp, that's probably number 1 canyon, I am assuming. Isn't that just beautiful? And again, we're not quite to sunrise yet. Sunrise is 7:21. So lots of sunshine today, very mild temperatures, chilly at night. Your forecast details from the National Weather Service looks just like this. Today's high of 66 degrees will be above normal, so dry and mild today, but then wetter and windier weather will begin coming our way beginning on Tuesday. Lots of clouds in the morning, sunshine Tuesday afternoon, high of 64. Again, that's above normal, but it's going to be breezy. Wind out of the west on Tuesday, getting up to 15 to 20 miles an hour. Winds as high as 30 at times on Tuesday. What's going on Tuesday? Unsettled weather. Unsettled weather is what's going on. A cold front is going to start coming in, not Tuesday and Wednesday, but look at Thursday and Friday. Cool and wet weather, certainly the return of snow in the mountain passes. Measurable rain for the Wenatchee Valley, absolutely. Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday. So continued light rain off and on, beginning really Wednesday and lasting all the way through the weekend. So one nice, beautiful, sunny day today. Clouds are back. These temperatures that you see Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are just about normal. Then we cool down on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And again, snow will return to the mountain passes by the time we get to the weekend. Right now, give you a quick little update on the mountain passes. No problems at all. No advisories, no restrictions, nothing coming down. Roadways are pretty much bare and dry, so no problems at all in the mountain passes. And again, temperatures will be above freezing and no real precipitation in the mountain passes snow-wise until we get to Wednesday and then Wednesday night. Then they're going to have measurable snow, and especially this weekend, perhaps significant snowfall will be coming down in the Cascades. 4.5 minutes after the hour, we are live from Studio 2 here in downtown Wenatchee. I'll be handling your Monday morning news when we come back in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CVCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CVCH respects that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to check out our newest show on the NCW Life channel. We call it the 12th District. Each week, we'll be taking an in-depth look at various political issues that affect our area, our state, and the world. We'll be featuring local and statewide experts on the subject matter at hand. Please join us weekly for the 12th District with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Check your channel guide for times or go to ncwlife.com for details.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
And at 6 minutes after the hour here on this Monday, I am Dan Kuntz filling in for Steve Hare. Once again, our news director is on assignment. He'll be back in the saddle tomorrow morning. No school today for students at Peshastin-Dryden Elementary today as a precaution due to the E. coli that was detected in the water by the Water District on Friday. A boil advisory was issued for water customers on Saturday afternoon. That is still in place. All the other schools in the Cascade School District are open today, with the exception of Peshastin-Dryden Elementary School. The Wenatchee police officer who shot and killed a 31-year-old man outside of an Albertson store in Wenatchee back in July returned to full-time duty last week. 28-year-old Albert Gonzalez has been on administrative leave since the July 27th shooting of Wenatchee resident Matthew Folden. According to a Special Investigation Unit press release, Gonzalez shot Folden 3 times after he disobeyed commands to get to the ground after moving towards the officer with a 3-inch folding knife. Now, even though there are still 2 ongoing investigations into the shooting, Captain Edgar Reinfeld of the Wenatchee Police Department says it's not unusual for an officer who was placed on administration leave to return to work while an investigation is still in progress.
Decision was made over time and reviewing all the documentation we have with the case that's coming forward. The criminal case itself is in the hands of the Chelan County prosecutor and was being reviewed right now, and we expect a decision, I would say in the next week to 2 weeks, a final decision regarding criminal charges. And then also, shortly after that, we'll release our decision on our internal investigations come out. People look at the practice and might say it seems strange that you're still waiting for decisions, but realistically this is done all over the country with many agencies. There's many ways to do this. We're moving a little bit forward with returning to work sooner rather than later in cases once we've reviewed the documentation and we believe we know how it's going to come out. So in this case, we've reviewed everything in this and are ready to return him to work, and that's what's been done at this time.
Chelan County Prosecutor Doug Shea has over 700 pages of documents to go over in the case, along with hundreds of hours of video and audio. And as a way to celebrate culture, the Wenatchee Downtown Association, along with Lincoln Elementary School and their students, took part in a Celebrating Culture banner project. Linda Haglin is Executive Director of the Wenatchee Downtown Association, and she tells us how the idea came about.
Back in January, I was invited by Wenatchee City Councilwoman Ruth Esparza to take a cultural exchange trip to Mexico. And about 7 of us went, spent 8 days in Mexico. And what struck me as we looked in these great communities is the color of culture. I came home, and the idea was, how could we celebrate culture in our community? So I reached out to Sarah Rolfs, and she said, this sounds like a great project if we could do some banners. And so she reached out to the school districts, and an amazing teacher at Lincoln Elementary, Mrs. Brown, embraced this. And we asked the question, what does culture mean to you? So just before the end of the school year, she invited me to Lincoln Elementary, and a lineup with kids with armloads of art met me at the car. Over 500 pieces of artwork. So we took them to the convention center, laid them all out, and invited people to come and help us narrow those 500 plus down to 60. And then we laid the 60 out again at the convention center and invited local arts enthusiasts, our board members, people who love art in the community to come help us narrow it down to the 30. The 30 banners went up this week in downtown, and we invite you to come and look at them. Good place to start is 2nd Street, headed south. They are hanging on the light poles. They're high. So 2nd Street to Yakima, and then I noticed one up in front of City Hall on Chelan Street. So you might want to look around. I don't know where they all are, but there are 30. They bear the name of the student who did it, the first name, and they are all from Lincoln Elementary. And these will be up till March. So it's going to give us some color in a little bit, some drab days of winter in downtown, and will give us some color. So come downtown, see what culture looks like in the eyes of our local students.
And that is a look at your morning news on this 16th day of October 2017. Don't forget everything you need to know with Grant Olson. We'll have our newscast at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight here on the NCW Live channel with Grant Olson in the anchor chair. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and go to our website for all kinds of news as well, ncwlife.com, ncwlife.com. We are live in Studio 44 here in downtown Wenatchee at 11 minutes after the hour, a 1-minute break, sports, and everything else. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your stoke?
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's blueberry picking season and King 5 named us the second best destination restaurant in Washington State. So toss the family in the cruiser and get on out to Blueberry Hills for the best down-home scratch country cooking you've had in years. And don't forget our award-winning pies. We're fun, family-friendly, and a delicious destination year-round. We're open every day from 8 to 3, serving breakfast and lunch all day. So come on out to Blueberry Hills.
12 minutes after the hour, live from Studio 15 here in downtown Wenatchee. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Monday. I'm Dan Kuntz. Sports to the Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard we go for Friday night. Eastmont celebrated senior night with some big plays by a couple of seniors. Cameron Scaramuzino and Devin Schneider led the way. A 21-7 victory over visiting Eisenhower. Grant Olson and Jay Seebeck had the call here on the NCW Live channel.
Lopez still in the backfield. This time the give is to Scaramuzino. Cuts it back up center of the field. Now he's on the outside. He's got room. Look out. 40-yard line. 35. 30. Still on his feet. He's going to go. 10-5. Touchdown Wildcats.
Incredible.
Fake handoff, play action.
Wide
Down
open.
the field, it's Snyder. Great pass by Massey. The 20, and inside the 20, down to the Eisenhower 18-yard line. Here's Cornagain shotgun. Fake handoff, it's play action. Left side, receiver double coverage. And is it picked off? It is by Jessup at the 3-yard line. Lopez and Snyder in the backfield. Here's Snyder, and he's got a big hole. He can take it. 30-yard line, 25. He's going to take it. 10. Touchdown, Wildcats. Devin Snyder.
Nice victory for the Wildcats on their final home game of the 2017 campaign. Elsewhere, also on Friday, Wenatchee crushing Davis down in Yakima. The final was 41-6. Austin Blakely, he threw for 4 touchdowns. The defense had a pick 6, and also they blocked a punt, for a touchdown. Kashmir defeated Cascade 29-6, so the Bulldogs win the Pear Bowl. Kashmir blocking 2 first-quarter punts that led to a couple of touchdowns. Omak dispatching Chelan Odessa over Antietam and Waterville Mansfield over Liberty Bell. The Shockers win homecoming on a last-minute touchdown and then a 2-point conversion to win the game. That was Friday. The Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard from Saturday. West Valley shuts out Wenatchee 1-0 on the pitch. The Rams scored in the 69th minute. That ends Wenatchee's winning streak at 10. In volleyball, Wenatchee finished 3rd in its own invitational tournament at Wenatchee High School on Saturday, and Cascade shut out Kashmir 3-0. Cascade has not even dropped a set, much less a game this year. All right, hockey. The Wenatchee Wild split a pair of games in BCHL play over the weekend. On Friday, Wenatchee got 3 third-period goals. Chad Sasaki, August von Ungeren, and Jasper Weatherby. They won at West Kelowna 4-2. Saturday, the Wild were back home, hosting the Merritt Centennials. Arch Ecker had the hard luck call on the Wenatchee Wild Network.
Ripped back over on the near side for Borjas. Give and go. Shot, score. Your center was intended for Zek. He's going to bounce over to Chalatic. Shot, save, made, rebound. Loose in front. Von Ungeren, Sternberg, save, rebound, score! Sam Morton. Okay. He moves it down low, back up top for Wicks. He's in, he shoots, and he scores. Back down low to the corner it goes. Centering feed, Wicks has it. Stick handles up top to the point. Buckley scores. Finish it off, back to the left point. Shot there. Tip in front, score! Jasper Weatherby. And it's going to be pressed there, and we're going to run out of time. As the Merritt Centennials pick up the victory. The Wild threw everything at them down the stretch. But the 2 power play goals in the first period, and then the bomb from Buckley in the second. And that was all she wrote.
For the Wenatchee Wild, it's off to Salmon Arm tomorrow, a 7 o'clock game tomorrow night. Well, it's not even a Halloween, and it was a frightful weekend in college football for the 2 big Washington schools. Washington State laid a big fat egg on Friday night. Quarterback Lute Falk sacked 9 times, threw 5 interceptions. 37-3 was the final Cal over the Cougars on Friday night. The Cougars turned the ball over 7 times. It was just a forgetful game all the way around. And then on Saturday, Washington had a dreadful game. At Arizona State, the Sun Devils scored 13 first-half points. They held on. The formerly number 5 ranked Huskies went scoreless until 5:35 left in the game. And as you can see, they lost 13-7. On a couple of brighter notes, Central Washington pummeled Western Oregon 42-0. Central Washington is undefeated. And Eastern Washington, no troubles with Montana State. They won 41-17. Well, the Seahawks didn't play yesterday, but the rest of the NFC West was in action. Kirk Cousins threw for a couple of touchdowns, ran for another. Washington hung on to beat the 49ers 26-24. San Francisco has not won a game yet this year. Adrian Peterson rushing for 2 touchdowns and 134 yards in his Arizona debut. The Cardinals held off a ferocious 27-point fourth quarter comeback by Tampa Bay. They beat the Buccaneers 38-33. And Pharaoh Cooper returned the opening kickoff 103 yards. One of 2 special teams touchdowns for the Rams. LA beat Jacksonville 27-17. That means Los Angeles back in first place in the NFC West. And finally, October baseball, as good as it gets. Justin Turner hit a walk-off 3-run home run in the bottom of the 9th last night. The Dodgers defeat Chicago 4-1. They now have a 2-0 lead in the National League Championship Series. Game 3 in Chicago tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. It'll be broadcast on TBS. Game 3 of the American League Championship Series tonight at Yankee Stadium in New York. Yankees trail Houston 2-0. The series has been all about pitching so far. Dallas Keuchel and Justin Verlander putting the clamps on New York's offense in the first couple of games Friday and Saturday. The Stros will send Charlie Morton to the mound. The Yankees will go with CC Sabathia. First pitch, 5 o'clock on FS1. 18 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day today. Today's Dictionary Day, because today was the day that Noah Webster, the father of the American Dictionary, was born. He was born October 16th, 1758. He began writing his dictionary at the age of 43, and it took him 27 years to write it. He was 70 by the time he was done. It was a traditional English dictionary, English vocabulary with some American words thrown in, and now, of course, it is the standard dictionary. Celebrate Dictionary Day by reading the dictionary. Improve your vocabulary and your word power. It's an unbelievably important tool, is it not? 18 minutes after the hour, today in history, got a number of items to get to. Bad day for Marie Antoinette. On October 16th, 1793, let them eat cake. Instead, they chopped off her head. Marie Antoinette, the widow of Louis XVI, is guillotined at the height of the French Revolution. Her last words, she apologized to the hangman because she stepped on his foot accidentally. It was 158 years ago that John Brown led his famous raid on Harper's Ferry, October 16th, 1859. He was hoping to start a slave revolt. 10 were killed during the raid itself. 7 of the others, including John Brown, were captured and eventually executed. John Brown's infamous raid on Harper's Ferry happened on this date 158 years ago. 49 years ago today, October 16th, 1968, Tommy Smith, John Carlos kicked off the United States Olympic team and sent home for participating in the 1968 Olympic Black Power salute. You see them on the screen. In addition to the silver medalist in that particular competition, Peter Norman. You see him, he was Australian. In solidarity with Tommy Smith and John Carlos, he wore a badge called the Olympic Project for Human Rights Badges. All 3 of them are wearing the badges, including Peter Norman. When Peter Norman passed away 10 years ago, his pallbearers at his funeral in Melbourne, Tommy Smith and John Carlos. 39 years ago today, the papal conclave came to an end, and Karol Wojtyła became the Pope. Pope John Paul II got the gig 39 years ago today, the first non-Italian pontiff since 1523, and of course every pope since John Paul II has been not Italian. The person who took over from him, Pope Benedict, was German, and now the current Pope, of course, Pope Francis, is from Argentina. The Pope got the job, Pope John Paul II, 39 years ago today. And one of my favorite Bob Dylan stories, 16 years ago today, there's Bob. In the wake of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, Bob Dylan demanded that security be tightened at his concerts during his current tour. Well, it was on this date in San Diego, 2 security guards refused admission to Bob Dylan to go backstage so Bob Dylan could do a concert. Bob Dylan didn't have a pass, so the security guards wouldn't let him in to his own concert. They were fired, by the way. 21 minutes after the hour, let's do some birthdays. Historic birthday for you, one of the great jurists, certainly one of the most controversial jurists in American history, William O. Douglas. The American lawyer, Supreme Court Justice, was born on this date in 1898. He served 36 years and 211 days on the United States Supreme Court from 1939 to 1975, by far the longest in the history of the Supreme Court. And not surprisingly, he wrote more opinions, both minority and majority, than any justice in history. He was a veritable paper factory. William O. Douglas, very controversial. Born in this state in 1898, passed away in 1980. And of course, a Yakima native, lived in a cabin in Goose Prairie, about 50 miles to the west of Yakima for most of his adult life. Barry Corbin is 77 years old today, one of my favorite character actors. First got to know him on War Games. He played the general on War Games. He was an urban cowboy, Lonesome Dove, and of course, for 6 years, he portrayed Maurice Minifield in Northern Exposure. And he does a lot of voiceover work too. Barry Corbin is 77 years old today. And Bryce Harper, the American League baseball player, very unique claim to fame. Bryce Harper is the youngest player ever to be selected to the All-Star Game. He was the 2012 Rookie of the Year and the 2015 Most Valuable Player, unanimously, I might add, one of the finest players in baseball. Bryce Harper, 25 years old today. All right, it's 22 minutes after the hour on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike McNighty's opinion. Heaven or hell is the topic today. And then after that, we'll be talking to Marky Kerr and Laurel Helton in a pre-taped conversation, all talking about Make a Difference Day, which is coming up on Saturday, October 28th. It's a busy Monday, the 16th day of October, and you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar, brought to you by First Choice Collision Center. Mini Maker Fair is a gathering of fascinating, curious people of all ages who enjoy learning and sharing what they can do. From engineers to artists to scientists to crafters, Mini Maker Fair is a venue for these makers to show hobbies, experiments, and projects. Glimpse the future and get inspired October 21 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Snyder who had the reception, and now he collects the touchdown. Got on goal, Wenatchee scores. Riggin lines up a three. Yes! Oh my goodness! Figure out where the line is, where they'll cover from. West fighting on the bottom, and he got the pin. Swung on and hit hard to left field. Caught out there in left field. The shot is scored! And Wenatchee Valley wins it!
On the NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hi, my name's Emmy. And I'm Ashley. And we'd like to invite you to this year's Wenatchee Mini Maker Fair. It will be held on October 21st at the Wenatchee Convention Center, and guess what? It's free!
Wenatchee Mini Maker Fair allows people to show, sell, and demonstrate what they've made to the community.
This year there will be a variety of booths, everything from art to robotics, along with hands-on demonstrations and performances throughout the show. So bring your friends, bring your family, and come on down.
Hi, I'm Eric Grandstrom, host of Let's Learn here on the NCW Life channel, a program where we learn about different topics. And on this particular series, it's death and die. It's a conversation that no one wants to have, but we're going to have it right here on the NCW Life channel. So you're dead. Now what? We're going to learn all about the choices you have and the decisions you need to make. It's Let's Learn on the NCW Life channel.
Welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson.
Of the NCW Life Legislative Hotline, I'm Steve Hare.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
And now, your weather forecast for north central Washington.
We're here at the downtown fire station right now.
Dry and warm weather pattern for Friday.
Considering that we're supposed to be 103 degrees today, how do you keep these guys cool?
And this just in, traffic is slowed in the Orondo area as firefighters attack a brush fire.
Right here on NCW Life News.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. You know, you've been wrong about heaven and hell. You really have. I realized that what I've been taught about these places is really screwed up. First of all, hell isn't hot. I mean, you're supposed to be miserable there, right? So instead of being hot, hell must be colder than a well digger's butt with slush, ice, and terminally cold, wet feet. And heaven's supposed to be paradise, correct? A place where you're both really comfortable, happy, and you're thrilled to be there. So heaven has got to be a place that it's warm, with warm salt water, cold beer, and hot garlic shrimp. And also, there'll be roller coasters, oh yeah, wild, crazy, upside down and corkscrew roller coasters, and never a line to wait in. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's heaven. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
It's a spectacular good time all month long in Kashmir. Scarecrows will be waiting for you throughout the town. Silly ones, spooky ones, and everything in between. Yes, it's Scare Crazy in Kashmir. Bring the family and find the scarecrows all around Kashmir. And be sure to stop by these fine sponsors. The Antique Mall at Kashmir. Come find your treasure. And Club Crow Bar and Grill, home of the blues, brews, and barbecue.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
And we are back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. What's so funny? Margie's already laughing. We haven't even started yet. Hey, Laurel and Margie, welcome, because I get to say that every time I see Laurel and Margie. Laurel Helton, Margie Kerr, Make a Difference Day 2017 is coming up on the 28th of October, Saturday. Welcome back to the show. You were on last year.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back. Yeah. Before we talk about all the different events and everything that's going on, I want to take you through a little memory lane. This was from the Wenatchee World on the 29th of September. In the 25-year ago, they have the old news sections of the Wenatchee World. So this is the Wenatchee World dated September 29th of 1992. And I'm reading this verbatim. Thank you to the Wenatchee World, by the way, for letting me do this. Earlier this year, they put Wenatchee on the map by winning USA Weekend's National Make a Difference Day contest. In August, they were selected to help judge the second annual contest. Betsy Tontini and Margie Kerr, Wenatchee area sisters and diehard volunteers, spotted the magazine's appeal last January for people to make a difference in their communities on February 29th. About 1,000 people ended up participating in projects to improve the community that day. Tontini and Kerr filled a scrapbook with photos of all the work they entered into the contest. They won. The two and Mayor Jim Lynch attended an awards dinner in Washington, D.C. on April 30th. In its August 16th issue, USA Weekend announced Tontini and Kerr as judges of the second annual contest, along with civil rights pioneer Julian Bond, actor Edward James Olmos, Point of Light Foundation President Richard Sherbert, Harvard psychologist Alvin Poussait, and USA Weekend editor Marcia Bullard. Do you remember that?
I certainly do.
Yeah. Let's go back in memory lane real quick. First of all, tell me about the trip in April with Mayor Lynch and
it was
your
great
beloved sister.
because I'd never been to D.C. before. Our husbands got to come along, and Grace accompanied Jim Lynch. And we got to watch the Points of Light recipients at the White House. And I remember the two guests were Michael Jackson and Joyner. What was her first name? The track star.
Oh, Florence Griffith Joyner.
Yeah,
Wow.
They were there. And as we left, the Marine Band was playing, and Jim Lynch whirled me around and said, "Now we've danced to the White House." So then we got to see all the monuments, and it was a great 3 days, really fun.
You miss your sister a lot?
I do.
She was such an integral part of this, Betsy was.
Yes, she was.
So that was 25 years, 26 years ago?
27 years ago, because there were actually two Make a Differences that day. There was one in February and then again in October. But I have to mention, when we were judges, and you said, how did that go? Betsy and I only had one vote, and we didn't agree on everything. So we had to sort of make up our mind ahead of time before we got on a conference call and throw our votes together.
Way back all those years ago, did you have any idea that this was going to just become this self-growing self-entity that just keeps going and going?
Yes.
You did, you knew.
I did, because I think everybody wants to make a difference. They just don't know how. So once you help people figure out what they can do, I think they'll always do it.
I think you're onto something. I'm really happy that they moved it from February, though.
Yes, me too.
The genesis was there was a leap year that day, a leap day. So February
Leap day.
29th, 1992, correct?
91.
91. So there was a leap day that year.
Yes.
And so it was like, don't sleep in and do nothing. Go ahead and go out and make a difference. And from that point forward, USA Today has been on board from the get-go.
From the get-go.
So.
And they actually took an interest in our community many times afterwards. I know when we had the great fires, Marcia Bullard would call up and say, "How's your town?" And when my sister was dying of cancer, she called to check in, and they really like Wenatchee, so it's fun
They keep an eye on
that we
us.
keep it going.
Here's a funny question. Probably didn't expect this. We won the very first Make a Difference Day national contest. Where's the plaque? Where's the trophy? Where can we go look at it?
Jim Lynch had it.
Jim had
Yeah,
it. So
I asked Grace.
Okay, it's probably at Grace's place.
Right.
It's possible. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Where's the hardware? So, and then you and your sister Betsy got to judge the second one, which was really neat. That must have been hard.
Well, I'll have to tell you, if the truth be known, I wanted Laurel to come, because Laurel was on the ground floor that year, and she did a lot of our news stuff, and we didn't have computers back then.
No, we didn't.
But she did a lot of the behind-the-scenes things, and I begged them to let Laurel come along, and she said, "Nope, we can only do 3, and we want the mayor because it's a community."
Right.
And I said, "Okay," but.
And now here we are again.
Here we are, and she's kept it going.
Die-hard volunteers.
Before we rolled tape on this, it was funny because Margie and Laurel got their phones out and they're making notes. Can you do this time? How much work do you personally do, the two of you? Have you ever even kept count of the hours?
no
you put into this
way.
thing? You have no idea.
We start in August, and we start compiling. We send notices out to people telling them what the date is and to be thinking about. Then it gets really, really busy computing everything, and that's where Laurel, she probably spends days on end doing it. And
what did you do in the days before spreadsheets and computers? That must have been
note cards.
Note cards?
That was all
Note
Marcus
cards. I
notes.
still do that. I'm still not into the computer world very well. But
It's
It does make it a lot easier
then-
to send it out to lots and lots of people. But
then we still run around with the flyers, and we run around with the signs, and we go
we like
promote
the
it.
personal touch.
Yeah.
We just really like talking with people, meeting the people that are doing the projects. That's a lot more fun for us than sending them an email and never seeing their face. So we do that a lot, but then we get out and we just hit the ground and like to meet people and see what they're doing and what their interests are.
It's incredible that it's been going great guns for all these years. And it says a lot about North Central Washington, doesn't it?
It was a little easier way back then because the town was smaller and people were well connected and you knew everybody, so you'd just for an example, you'd run into the school, pick a school, an elementary, and the secretary would say, "Hi, Margie," and then you'd pass the flyers in the boxes. Now you go to the superintendent's office, you wait a couple days to get the permission okayed, and then when you go in there, there's a lock system, and you sign in, and they do the work, and it's different.
Things have changed, there's no doubt about
And
it.
there's a lot of new people in our area that don't even know about Make a Difference Day. And I can always tell if I go into with a flyer and I say, "Here's a Make a Difference Day flyer," and they smile and say, "Thank you." They usually know about it. If they have kind of this glazed look over their eyes, then I stand and explain what it is.
Do you know what Make a Difference Day is? We say, and they'll say no, and so then we just give them the roundup. And
You brought up an interesting point, Margie. Where do you go? I mean, you talk about people who had no idea Make a Difference Day. Give me an example of some of the businesses you would go into. That would you go,
Well,
there's a what?
We go all around. Any place we can, and then when we do our shopping, we go in there. So we hand it to them either to post in the window or just to talk to them about it so that they can spread the word, put it on their employee bulletin board, and you find people all over with that glazed look. So, it's fun to have awareness.
Or they've heard about it. A lot of times I went into schools and the kids say, "Oh, yeah, we used to do this in 5th grade," and I'm in the high school, and then you remind them about it. And there's just so many ways that a business can get involved. Do it as a business. That's a great way to build the rapport between employees, or do it as a family, or schools like to do it. Individuals, one-on-one, can just go out and do things. So wherever you go, you're just kind of spreading the word and saying, there's something you can do, and do you want to do it with people, or do you want to do it on your own? And it's just a lot of fun to introduce it to people that don't know what it is, or maybe have had experience or heard about it in the past.
Very exciting news involving the Community Foundation of North Central Washington and grants. Laurel, please address that, because this is a cool thing.
Well, we have received 9 national recognitions for the things that people in the community have done through the years, and so we have a lot of money that sits in the foundation, and a few years ago we just set up a grant system. So if you've done a project last year, you can apply for a grant if you're going to do a project this year. So it's just moving that money forward, and we have 11 people that have applied for grants this year, and we'll be giving out those monies through the foundation. And it's just a great way to keep people doing projects and funding the projects that happen and making things go well.
And the deadline for that came and went.
Yes, October 1st this year.
Right,
Yeah.
you already dispersed the money out.
Right.
But that's great seed money, because some group may have just a really good idea, and they just don't have any money.
Right.
And now
They have to
do.
be a 501c3, or you have
Right.
to find someone, if you're an individual, and we do have people that do that, they get someone to sponsor them that's a 501c3, so, because the monies have to pass through a certain way. But yeah, we're getting park benches out of Malaga sanded and painted this year with one of those grants, and they're making a park out there. So yeah, lots of neat things.
And I think we need to remind people that we don't have a budget, Laurel and I.
No.
It's just all volunteer. And so when people like commercial printing prints thousands and thousands of our flyers, that's out of their generosity. And the Wenatchee World giving us the publicity.
Sure.
And you
It does.
yourself,
Sure, yeah.
promoting it.
Yeah,
That
'cause
all helps.
There's no board or
Yeah.
this is really a grassroots effort. I mean, it is people deciding they want to do things, and us deciding we want to help, and it just comes from the generosity of everyone's hearts to.
Why isn't the Make a Difference Day group, you and you two ladies specifically, why don't you form your own 501c? Have seed money each year. Have a board of directors with a constitution and bylaws. You don't want to do that? It's just not your thing? So it's as simple as that.
Right.
Okay.
I've been on
Because
boards.
the reason I bring this up, Margie, is I bet you there's a lot of businesses and a lot of people who say, here's seed money, so every year you don't have to worry about commercial printing can still donate, but maybe pay for the costs and stuff like that. Does that make sense? I mean, people will do that if you wanted to. I'm
In
assuming
my
they
mind,
would.
and I think we're on the same page on this, we just love that it's just from the heart giving. It's people wanting to do things, and nobody's excluded. It's totally the smallest projects to the biggest projects, and we don't want to say no to anybody. We want people to feel like where there's a need, they can do a good deed. So, we don't want them to have to jump through hoops to do it. Their projects are great.
As my dad used to say, the only problem with committees is that then you have committee meetings.
Right. Or board meetings.
A board meeting, so by
And rules and
eliminating a committee or a
regulations.
board, you don't have to worry about having the darn meetings.
Yeah, it's between her and me, and we just kind of keep it rolling.
You and Betsy started this, really. I mean, you read it in the paper and said, let's get going. Laurel, when did you become have you been there from the very beginning and just a little less?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was a good friend of Betsy.
Right.
And I met Laurel then. No, she's my good friend.
Yeah.
But she was on the ground floor, and then I always remind people that I took off for Hawaii for about 10 seasons, and Laurel's kept it going. So now I take
didn't
orders
get to go to
from her.
Hawaii. No. I'm so glad she's back. Yeah.
Eddie, let's talk about some of the projects. First of all, the old classics, the ones who've been doing projects every year. There's always 5 or 6 of them that have been doing this from the very get-go. Is there some you want to mention right off the top of your head that have been doing this from day one? Either
Sure.
businesses or projects themselves you can remember.
I think the bike project, donations of bikes and used bikes and so forth. Chuck's been doing it for, I think, all of these years.
He was a custodian over in East Wenatchee, and this is one of those things. He's not a corporation. He gets no monies unless someone wants to support him, and he just wanted to help kids with bikes, so he just does his
Every
project.
kid should have a bike.
Yeah.
Every kid should
And
have a
he's
bike.
done this every year, and some years we get donated helmets. One year, I remember we went to the
Tubes and
police
tires.
station and got all their bikes that they'd picked up during the year and took those to Chuck. And he just keeps going away. So,
Yeah. So
you
people
bring a
can,
bike,
you
I
can
can take away a bike.
You can give a bike. I think he collects them throughout the year since he's with the school district. They get abandoned bikes all the time, and that's kind of why his project evolved. But you can donate bikes to him, and he'll just fix them up. And then kids go that day, and they pick them up. And he's got the cutest pictures he always shares with us of kids that have chosen a bike and are so excited about that.
Kids are really the key to this because this has been going on for, as you said, 26, 27 years. Without the kids getting involved as youngsters, they're not going to be doing it as adults, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, it's better to do it now when you can form them and they're still pliable clay and get them involved.
Laurel just got a letter from her son who's on a mission, and he said he's missing Make a Difference Day, that he's reminded of it every fall, and he's been working on it forever.
A lot of kids have really grown up with it as their tradition. Their families always do projects, and that's what I love to see. We've got 3-year-olds out there painting over graffiti, and we've got 92-year-olds that are quilting that day. It's just like it's a day that it doesn't matter how old you are, and it's great to be raised just feeling like you can do something in your community. One time, it was Gabby Fernandez. She had the Gear Up kids out at the community center, and they did a neighborhood garden. And the kids out there were out there digging, and one of the kids said to me, "We belong to this community. We want to make it better." And I thought that was just so spontaneous, you know. And because I said, "Why are you out here doing this?" And that's a great connection that kids feel like they belong and there are things they can do.
And this is very important, although there's a one sheet here that lists, I don't know how many organizations and what they're doing on Saturday, October 28th. You can use this as a template. You don't have to use this at all, as long as you do something to make a difference.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what we want to stress, that a lot of people, maybe they're limited in time or they just don't feel like joining one of these. A simple good deed. Call a friend and thank them for their friendship. Take some cookies to your favorite TV personality.
Where are my cookies, by the way?
They're coming.
Just helping a neighbor out.
Yeah,
Being a
or
good neighbor.
take your
know?
checkbook out and write a relief
Sure.
check for the hurricane season or your favorite charity. Doesn't have to be a group project.
Right.
Any good deed counts.
And yet, we still have this.
Yes.
We've
And-
got almost 60 projects right now, and they will come in all the way to Make a Difference Day. People will be thinking of things to do. And these projects that we have on the website, we have a website, WenatcheeMKDD.com. You can go there, and that's the most up-to-date information. So you can go there, and all those people want help. Anybody that gets on that website wants to have help, or anybody that's on the flyer, they're asking for people to show up because they've organized a project and they have something you want to get done. So yes, you can do it on your own, and tons of people do that, and we never know about that. They just spontaneously do nice things that day. But these projects are hoping that people will show up for them and help and get something really big done that day. So we hope people go.
There's no lack of things to do here.
No,
so
lots and lots
including
of
some of
things.
the ones we've been doing forever. Campfire Boys and Girls have been cleaning
Right.
up Zanikalachi on this weekend every
Yeah.
year.
Camp
On the-
Zanika.
Yeah, on the 28th.
The Y Camp this year
Y
is
Camp.
also doing it,
Okay.
YMC up at Lake Wenatchee, and Ingalls Creek Enrichment Center, they're asking for people to go up Blewett Pass and do things up there. So big cleanups up there for
Coats
those
for
camps.
Kids is another one that's been around for a good many years.
7 years.
And that's Cherry Creek Media is involved in that, I believe. Is that correct?
Andrea Andrus
Yeah,
and
yep.
Wenatchee World and Cherry Creek.
And another long-term one is the Teachers Make a Difference.
Oh, yeah. Is this their
Eldine Wall has
17th?
been, it's about 15th year maybe.
It says 18th.
18th year.
Wow.
So like if you had a teacher who made a difference in your life, you would submit that little story to Eldine. She will type it up. She creates a book with pictures and all these stories. Then she sells them, and the money goes for scholarship for kids. So it's a nice way to pay tribute to your teachers.
What's some of the more unique projects that are going on? The ones that kind of stand out. It's not just, okay, we're going to shovel this or paint that
Monster
or
Mash.
do that. What's that? What?
Monster Mash.
Monster Mash.
Yeah, this is a new one this year. The Monster Mash is going to happen at Sage, at the Sage headquarters in their parking lot. And they'll have trunk or treating. They're going to have all kinds of games for kids and giveaways. And yeah, that's going to be a fun family event. It's Make a Difference this year is on October 28th, so it's right before Halloween. So, you know, dressing up in costume to do fun things is really fun, and bringing the kids down. That's going to be a really fun one in the afternoon.
I remember one from the very first year. We did it differently then. We had our flyers, and at the bottom you had your name and what project you did, and then you came to them all and put it up, and we got to see what everybody did. Well, one fellow just thought that he would go take staples out of all the telephone poles, because when people do yard sales, they're not supposed to do it, but they do, staple them on, and he knows that that's dangerous for the PUD. So he went around and removed the staples, and I thought that was genius.
Fantastic.
I thought that was a really good one.
Laurel Helton and Margie Kerr are talking Make a Difference Day. We'll be talking Make a Difference Day all this week. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Margie and Laurel. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hi, I'm Eric Grandstrom, host of Let's Learn here on the NCW Life channel, a program where we learn about different topics. And on this particular series, it's Death and Die. It's a conversation that no one wants to have, but we're going to have it right here on the NCW Life channel. So you're dead. Now what? We're going to learn all about the choices you have and the decisions you need to make. It's Let's Learn on the NCW Life channel.
Welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson.
Of the NCW Life Legislative Hotline, I'm Steve Hare.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
And now, your weather forecast for north central Washington.
We're here at the downtown fire station right now.
Dry and warm weather pattern for Friday.
Considering that we're supposed to be 103 degrees today, how do you keep these guys cool?
And this just in, traffic is slowed in the Orondo area as firefighters attack a brush fire.
Right here on NCW Life News.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
And we are back. Dan Kuntz, your host of Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley, along with Margie Kerr and Laurel Helton. I'm going through the list here, and it's a sizable list. It looks like almost every service club in North Central Washington is involved one way or the other. That must be a great comfort to you.
Yes.
Hello Rotary, hello Kiwanis, hello Lions, hello Exchange. They're all on board, aren't they? They're all doing something. So.
Yeah, they're making a difference every day. But
Yeah.
this is a day, it's just so much fun for the whole community to come together and to get on board and join hands with somebody you haven't done it before, or get involved in a project you've never known before, and just, make donations, clean up, get outside and do something really good.
You talked about at the beginning of our conversation, Margie, how much things have changed in the last 25 years. there's one really good positive change. Kids need to put in X amount of volunteer hours now to even get your diploma. This must be a great time for kids to build those hours up, right?
Right, lots of leadership clubs at schools plan activities, and
even Westside High School, the whole school is doing projects all through October. It's their service month, and so every student at Westside is doing a project. And
some of the best projects have come from the schools. There were one year, the kids at Washington Elementary did kits to send overseas to servicemen, and they thought it up and did it. And another year, another ladies' class wrote greeting cards and did placemats for mobile meal recipients.
Great.
Kids can think up the greatest stuff.
They
I
can.
like to hear from them.
They see the needs. And they also plug into the things that we have on the website at WenatcheeMKDD.com. They go on there, and like Cascade Christian, they have chosen 3 projects from off of that list, and they're going to be making blankets and and collecting foods and things like that. Random Acts of Kindness at the high school are going to be having their own food drive for Salvation Army at Safeway. So, the kids have great ideas, and they get really excited about doing things in the community.
I visited the journalism class over at Eastmont, and that teacher is requiring each of them to find a project and write about it.
Oh, good.
So they might be even volunteering. Who knows?
If you're just completely overwhelmed, there's too much to do, I don't know which one to do, go to Pybus on Saturday the 28th in the morning, and somebody will send you on your way. Pybus is headquarters again, right?
It's headquarters, and we'll have a big map there showing where all the projects are. And Dee Riggs is actually going to be our on-site specialist that day, and she'll help direct people. Or you can bring any of the donations. We have a big donation list, all the way from bar soap to yarn with stuff in between. It's on our website. So an easy thing to do is to look around your home, get all these donations, head down to Pybus. We'll be there from 9 to 2, and we'll have big donation boxes. And while you're there, there'll be a lot of booths that talk about their projects, like the Green Bag Program or Packing Friendship, organ transplant. You don't need to make a donation that day. We're just going to,
no box for that one.
We're just going to tell you, answer questions about it. My neighbor happens to have just gotten a brand new heart, and that got me all excited about educating the community how necessary these organs are. And PUD will be having a LED bulb giveaway, free giveaway, and the Master Gardeners will be sharpening tools.
Yep, I got the flyer there on that. You gave me a whole list of good stuff.
There'll be 10 to 12, I think.
Yeah, this is the time of year you want to sharpen your tools.
Right.
So, when you're done with the
And it's only loppers and
pruners.
Don't bring your shovels or every tool you have. But and for the LED giveaway, it's until their light bulbs are gone. So if you get there right away, you'll be sure to get a free light bulb.
You told me that you two will do this as long as you can physically still do it.
Right.
You seem to have taken to it pretty well, ladies. But eventually, you're going to have to pass the torch, right? I mean,
Exactly.
Anybody in mind, or you're just going to keep plugging along? Because we all associate Laurel Lamarghe with Make a Difference Day.
We tried, I would say about 15 years ago, to see about broadening the scope, and had a big meeting and invited a lot of people and so forth. Nobody came forward. So it's not that hard. It just it sounds overwhelming. It isn't. And in the age of computer, it's easier than it was writing on the note cards.
It's actually a lot of fun. I mean, we just love going out and seeing all the things that happen. It's like Christmas in the community, where there's all these gifts being given, and we feel like we're opening up the packages, and so to be kind of the coordinators of it, we just get to see so much good happening. It gets us so excited about living in the valley and the goodness of people, and it's fun. If somebody wanted to take it on, we'd love to teach them kind of what we've done, and then they'd have their own vision.
And my specialty, or my favorite thing, is thinking of projects people can do. And an example of that was, I was sitting at the farmer's market years ago and handing out our Make a Difference Day flyers. And a newcomer to town stopped by, and she said, "What's this all about?" And I explained, and she said, I wonder what I could do. I said, "What do you like to do?" And she says, "Well, I love to garden." And I said, "Well, do you like to weed?" And she said, "I could weed." I said, "Well, 5 minutes ago, an elderly lady came by and said, could you find me somebody to weed? So I gave her the address. I said, you go check it out first before you commit. And she did it. So that's what I find the most fun, is finding something somebody likes to do. This year, for instance, if you like to sew, there's a day sewing bee over in the Eastmont at the LDS Church, and it's making feminine hygiene kits for girls in third world countries. And last year, when I went around taking photos, I expected to see just few little girls in there sewing. There were 200 women and girls in the gym doing this fabulous project.
Right.
And you know, there's something for everybody. You just have to figure out, do you want to be outside working?
You don't even need a special skill set. All you need to do is
don't
just
need money.
show up and do it.
Yep.
Yep.
You just
These flyers are going to be everywhere. You won't be able to miss them. Or you can just go to the website one more time, Laurel.
WenatcheeMKDD.com. So, or I just, you know, if you just Google Wenatchee Make a Difference Day, if you can't remember the website,
yeah, that's what I did.
Just go Wenatchee Make a Difference Day, and it'll come up. If you have problems doing that, take the S off the HTTPS, take that security off, and it'll go through just fine. We're trying to get that bug on.
And you're going to see a lovely picture of Margie and Laurel dressed as a carrot and a pea. Yeah, that's
because
right there.
Here's what we say. If you care at all,
peas make a difference. And we're
That's for the
invited
farmer's
to
market.
the farmer's market.
Yes, if you're into for bad puns, look for these two. Thanks for coming by, and we will do a follow-up on this. And on the first, wow, I can't believe it's coming up. On the 31st, or maybe the 1st of November, we'll do a little wrap-up on how Make a Difference Day went.
Remember, Make a Difference Day is always the 4th Saturday in October, every year. So
put it on your calendar next year.
Absolutely.
It's 27th.
27th.
27th
next year, yeah. But this year, 28th. Don't get it mixed up.
Laurel and Margie, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having us.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. We'll be right back.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your Stoke?
We've been in the cleaning industry for over 10 years, and we notice a need in the housing market for reliable, professional, and specialized cleaning and finishing company.
They come in with spunk and personality, a lot of energy, and they take pride in their business.
We offer a wide array of cleaning solutions, no matter how big or small the job. Anything from new construction to move-in, move-outs, we do it all. Give us a call today to see how we can help you with your cleanup.
And we are back live here from Studio 44 in downtown Wenatchee on a beautiful Monday. Look at that unbelievable view from outside of our window. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The interview that you just saw with Margie Kerr and Laurel Helton was taped a couple of weeks ago. You can tell any number of reasons that it was taped. For one thing, back then, I didn't need a haircut, but I do now. A couple of programming reminders about this program and Make a Difference Day. We are endeavoring to get as many different people into this program throughout the course of the week to profile their Make a Difference Day project. In fact, we already have a number of them booked. Kurt Benecourt will be dropping by this program this week. He's the Director of Operations for Hospitality Ministries. He'll talk about that. Also, Aaron Rosenblum will be visiting this program as well. They're going to be doing they're going to restore the habitat at West Foster Creek, which is up on the Waterville Plateau. That's their Make a Difference Day project coming up on October 28th. So we'll talk to those two people and others throughout the course of the week. Also, Street Talk and other stuff with Mike Mad Dog Magnotti live at 10 o'clock this morning. The topic today will be immigration and undocumented aliens. And that'll be Mike's topic today. And he will not have a guest. It'll be a very fascinating show. That's Street Talk and other stuff live with Mike Mad Dog Magnotti at 10 o'clock this morning right here from Studio 15. One quick look at your weather forecast. It looks like this. Sunny today, mild, above normal temperatures. Storm system comes in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to bring us rain, but the temperatures will continue to be above normal. And then we get really cool and really wet towards the back half of the week and into the weekend. Next chance of measurable snow in the mountain passes coming up towards the end of the week. Everybody have a great Monday, although you can't trust that day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.